Hello everyone, welcome to today's video. Today I'll be going over my second round game from the third Cleveland Go Club ratings tournament. If you did not see my first game or my first round review, I did end up winning that game, but it was quite a difficult game. Black played very well that game, and so I really wanted to try to play a lot more solid in this game. Thankfully we had for the tournament, we had a lunch break after the first round. So I've had about an hour and a half to, kind of calm down from the game and just try to collect my thoughts and try to play better for the second game. My opponent, Manny, is someone who I've actually known for a very long time and who has always been steadily increasing in strength. And in fact, at his last tournament, finally officially became 1-dan. So one, I'm very happy for his increase in strength, but two, that also means now he gets to play with the strong players. This is our first time, I believe, playing in tournament, or at least in a very long time. Definitely since the pandemic, for sure. So I was very excited for this game. Plus, I wanted to see, okay, because I've known Manny for a long time, I want to see what his 1-dan strength is all about. So I was very excited for this game, and so was Manny too. Manny was up for the challenge, so I knew it would be a fun game. But yeah, without further ado, let's jump into the game. And it's a 4-stone game, so I'm able to pick what sides I want, as opposed to a 6-stone game like in the first game. And 6 stones feels very suffocating, even though we're just adding these two side start points. Oh, 4 stones feels so much. It feels like you can breathe so much better. So much better. Black kicks and then jumps. And standard move here would be to just fix or help these 2 stones. And 1 second, sorry about that. Let's put coordinates on. There we go. Is to help these 2 stones here, and this helps connect up the right side. But I really don't like this kind of play. I really don't like, in general, going for the sides, but especially in handicap games, because if black just ends up playing something like S16, I still have a weakness on the right side that I need to fix. And even if I do fix, even in a very, let's say, efficient way, even though this doesn't fully fix it, we'll just say it fixes it. If black just ends up, let's say, letting me have the right side, the thing is, black's corners are worth more. So even though I'm getting the right side, it's not as big as what black's getting in the corners. So I really don't like emphasizing sides like this. What I want is black to come in so I have something to attack. So it's not that I'm hoping black jumps in, because you should never hope for your opponent to do something you want, because obviously they're trying to win, so why would they do something that benefits you? But in a handicap game, especially when it feels like black already has stones everywhere else, like what else can black do? Oftentimes they will jump in, because it can look scary, especially as the weaker player, when your opponent starts to get a moyo started. So instead of playing this move to really play defensive, say this right side's mine, I almost want black to come in. I want black to come in. And if black were to play here, my plan was to actually go elsewhere, because again, I want black to come in. So maybe I'll pincer the bottom side, maybe I'll just go elsewhere completely, because just like in my last game, if black comes in, then we start to get what I want. We start to get a divided board where black group, white group, black group, white group, black group. And that really adds complications to the game. And the other reason why I want black to come in is this would be the move I would normally play, and it's a totally fine move, and it's definitely the preferred move by many. But in this case, I specifically wanted to play something a little different, because I had been watching AIs play this move. And that's why also I would not answer, because I really want this move to look enticing, because I have a plan for this move. Now, black did it immediately, but the point still stands that I have a plan for when black plays on the right side. And again, I've seen this from, or I've seen this, like the slide, and when black answers, go elsewhere. I've seen this from a few AIs on Fox that play a lot of handicap games against 9-dons. So I wouldn't say I've studied this, but I have become accustomed to it, and so I've been trying to use it, trying to use it more. So black comes in immediately though, which again, this is what I want, so I can play this move, and this is the move that I've been seeing the AIs play, as opposed to a more standard move, which would be this one. This would allow black to connect up, and black even has the ladder here, which again, this is not what I want. I take the corner, but black's connected now, and that's not good, right? Now, you can allow your opponent to connect if you get ample profit, but in this case, this doesn't feel that good. If I just jump, whether black goes elsewhere, like black could slide along the side or then take the 3-3. My group up top, the shape isn't great. I don't even have an eye yet. So yeah, this shape, while it might look kind of light, is actually a little heavy. And it's because I've done this slide. If we change the order and black had pincered like this, sliding actually loses a lot of Aji because I might want to 3-3 or immediately 3-3. But once you slide, you cannot 3-3 anymore. Especially if they get to answer, whether like this or like this. So the 3-3 is always kind of a get out of jail free card for your groups. So the fact that I've given black that not only strengthens black's upper right, but also now my group there is a lot weaker. So yeah. But that's where this move comes into play. And yeah, the whole idea is I want to be able to isolate the stone on the right side, right? So I don't want to play this because it does allow black to connect pretty easily. There's other variations you could choose, but like none of them feel super great, right? Like I'm splitting black, but black's the one on the offensive here. Black's better here. So I want to be able to keep black separated, but I also don't want to get heavy like this. So that's where this move comes in. And it actually works even better when black doesn't have this. Like it works better. Like it still works okay like this, but when black has the 3-3, it's not as good. But when black doesn't have the 3-3, it's even better. And yeah, the idea is if black pulls back, my shape is now super solid, and black's upper right is now pretty heavy and doesn't have really good shape. If black plays his 3-3, I can Hane and Atari. And again, now my shape's super good. I could counter pincer now. If black bumps here, I can now descend, or extend, I mean. And again, I'm preventing black from connecting super easily, which is the main goal. And yeah, black's stone there, that handicap stone at Q16, is now a little heavier. Now, in a later round, this is actually what my opponent ends up playing, and we end up getting into what shape? I believe this shape. This is what ends up happening, and I end up being able to capture the upper right. So this is one of my later rounds, but I'm still pretty pleased with this result as white, because now I've captured those two stones, and black's outside, while very strong, is not fully connected, which in that game actually ends up mattering a lot. But let's not jump ahead. But yeah, that's the idea with this move. And if black Hanes, we just Hane back. This Atari doesn't really help much. Like you get this peep, but your shape on the outside is not so good. Lots of cuts. White's super strong, so these two stones are pretty weak. So yeah, that's the idea with this move. So I implore you to try this move in your even games, or especially in your handicap games as white. A slide, and if they pincer or do something, play here, or if they, or if you go elsewhere, I should say, after they 3-3, then trying it here. Yeah, it's a pretty fun move as well. So I get to go there, and black just extends. So black keeps the eyes on the prize, and I like that. Like black could have taken the corner and let me have the right side, although I would not have answered maybe as he thought. But black's saying, okay, if I'm playing on the right side, then I have to expect a loss in the upper right. So when white goes here, black just says, okay, I'm just going to extend here. And then Hane, and I can actually cut because this is actually a laddering stone. And here black actually, it's hard to say this is a mistake, but I think it helps white. Right now, how can black decide whether black wants to Atari this stone or Atari this stone? How can black decide? I think black can't decide. So I think black should leave it up to white. Black should just go elsewhere, maybe something like this, really put pressure on the two stones, or just go elsewhere completely. And so the idea is, if white pincers you, try to attack these two stones, now you can Atari this way. And white definitely doesn't want to connect because you get both Atari, so white will take, but you can see you're already out. White can't really attack you. And there's other moves too you could attach next. Basically, your stones are out, and that's the important thing here. If white just takes, then you could just extend like this. If white descends, then you can still Atari and extend. So really, you want white to decide how to play, and you can play accordingly. The problem with when black Ataris here, while this does take away the corner, and that's super good, later white ends up getting M17, and it's a lot harder for black to now run out, because now this move is not an Atari. And so we'll see black kind of has to play some awkward moves in order to defend against M17. So yeah, I think this is it's a strange moment because this is big in the corner. It is super big, but it is Gote, and it allows me to kind of toy with black and kind of decide how I want to play against black stones. And I get the first move towards the right side. And so what that means is if black, and this is probably what black was thinking, if I just, jump out, then there's going to be a potential dual attack happening on the right side. Maybe even directly go here. So black says, okay, let me try to find a different way. Let me play away from your strength here. Because while white is a little over-concentrated, white is super strong though. So I can push black towards there. Black attaches, Hane, and then peep. And the idea with the peep is I want to try to connect up. And this is something you, as a strong Go player, finding ways to simplify the position. Like, I did think for a bit, what if I just descend here? Well, we get into this pretty big fight, something like this, right? And this is complicated. You might think, well, in a handicap game, don't you want to complicate things? A little bit. But I'd rather have a simple position that is better for me than a complicated position that is nebulous for me, or the result is less clear. Like, this is not clear to me who's better here. It is not clear to me. We have two groups for black and white that are cut off and weak. So it's hard to say who this is good for. So I'd rather have a simple position, even though, again, it might simplify the position and make things easier for black. It also makes things easier for me. And in a handicap game, you don't need to win in the first, move 20? You don't need to win in the first 20 moves. This is a long game. This is a very long game. So I have hundreds of moves, a couple hundred moves to win the game. So I don't need that knockout punch immediately. So instead of fighting here, I simply peep, which by itself, it does lose a bit of Aji, but again, it simplifies things because now I can Atari this way. And when I block here, black is unable to separate me. Black goes here, which again, this move is a mistake. This move is a mistake. And that's what I mean by the mistakes will come when you play handicap games. The handicap's there for a reason, so the mistakes will come. You do need to catch them. But again, as a stronger player, I would expect white to be able to. And the reason why this isn't really good for black is this loses points in the corner. Right now, especially after I peep, there is no real Aji at R3. It just doesn't really, there's just not a lot there. There's just not a lot there. So right now the corner is pretty secure, but after you force white. Well, black forced white to go here. After you do that, now I can get into the corner. So instead, black should just Atari and like jump, come out somehow. I like black not trying to save these 2 stones because black just goes elsewhere here. But notice now black ends in gote, whereas black could have ended in gote like this, but black is out and the corner is still secure. So yeah, again, wasn't expecting the mistake, but the mistakes will come. And so here, it's a tough choice, but I wonder if black should still just go elsewhere, not get sealed in. Because while this cut is here, it's not the worst thing ever. Even this next move, even this like 3-3 move here, isn't really sente. You can just go elsewhere. So the fact black connected here, while again big for endgame, I'm able to now go on the offensive because black's not fully alive on the right side and not fully alive on the top. And again, black realizes this and kind of has to play defensively and bump here. You playing like this, do I jump or do I go here? It's a tough choice. But if you do something like this, then again, I can attack the right side and you're still not alive up top. So yeah, black realizes this. So I've already gained from attacking. And again, this is why I think early on, black shouldn't immediately Atari here. So that when we get into a scenario like this move is an Atari, and that means I have to play R16 or go here, probably R16, and then black can, I'll just play there to pass, and then black can come out again. So yeah, the Atari here, again, while big, potentially Ajikeshi. And the rule of thumb is if there's more than one way you want to Atari, wait till you know which one you want to take. So I think black, again, that's big, but I don't think it's the one black wants immediately. So black should wait till for the board to develop and then decide. So black bumps here and then descends. And this descent is not good because if black hanes and goes here, now my 3 stones have a defect in their shape. And now, even if I fix, black is 100% alive. If black goes elsewhere, even if I can bump here, black's still alive. Or even can go there. Let's just go here. Just keep things simple. Black's, that's the shape points to just play there. Black's still alive. But when you descend, and later I'm able to descend as well, now you need to add a stone in the corner. So not only is it preventing you from losing sente, while this move isn't fully sente, there's a defect on the outside, so it's more likely sente, but it also prevents white from sealing you in sente. So yeah, this is a strange move. So then I play the shape point there. Black covers. And again, this might feel like a strange move, but I simply just, I don't even cut here. Because cutting gives black a lot more forcing moves. Black can play moves like this. Right? Like, does this work? No, because black can fix by taking once. And then can capture. So, and even if I can't even, like go here now because it gets captured like this. So I don't even have time to play these moves, and black can really squeeze me like this. So I think that's how black should, or that's why I didn't do it. Like this, black connects, now I seal black in. Again, simplify, right? This complicates the game, this simplifies the game. And again, once again, going back to simplify, I really wanted this move because this move does just work. I'm threatening to cut here at S8, but if black connects, I can actually still connect underneath. And even if black fails here, or captures here, to gain an extra liberty on this group of stones, if I Atari here, black could just cut. But I can actually protect by connecting here, and there'll be a connect and die. Black can't connect these 2 spots. And even black Ataris, I'm still okay. I have an extra liberty. And so you can see black is not alive here. But let's say maybe here, Black would leave it. It's again that scenario of, okay, maybe black's not alive, but with the defect here, it's actually pretty hard to keep black contained. And so if I have to play moves like this, then once again, this is not really simplifying the game. So I just decided, okay, let me just cut black. Black has to live small, and then I can fix my defect now. And now I have one continuous wall spanning from one side of the board to the other. And this felt really good for white. And it might look strange because it looks like, okay, if you go all the way back, this right side was potentially white's. And look how many points white made on the right side. Right, white made roughly no points there on the right side. So how could this possibly be good for white? Because black got sealed in on the side and sealed in on the top. So, and this wall is going to affect the rest of the game. And that is no exaggeration. This wall is black's thorn and black's side for the rest of the game. And that's very powerful. That's very powerful. So yeah, feeling pretty good about this game so far, I must say. And yes, this move was necessary, again, because of this move here. Yeah, this move here. So, yeah, black would be not so good here. So, black played there. And whatever way black played, I was going to invade the 3-3. Like so. And then extend. Black takes the corner. So black actually is having all four corners, but white's outside is super, super strong. So I block up top. That is Sente. Again, black needs to fix. If you don't fix, this move just kills. Just as simple as that. So black answers. So then I shoulder hit. I think one shoulder hit is okay, but I should really do something else. This move is, if you just look at the remaining sides, right, the bottom side, the left side, and the top side, the right or the top side is definitely the smallest. And while I'm not necessarily looking at the top, I'm looking at like the top middle. There's still sides to be played, so I should definitely still prioritize those sides. So maybe this jump, or maybe a very thick move and just extend here. But I jump, and then black comes in. So I'm like, okay, this is what I want. Black is creating a weak group, and I have a huge wall on the right side. That's exactly what I want. But then black does something a little strange. So I peep. This peep is nice, because if I just jump or do anything, black can connect under, and that would not be very good. And I don't want to touch this stone because it makes it stronger. And since the corner is already black's, I don't mind making this exchange because it's already black. I'm not thinking of invading there because it's impossible. So, and if black goes elsewhere, let's say, I don't know, something like that, then I'm able to push and cut. As you can see, black goes this way, I can scoop out the corner, but if black does something else, yeah, black goes here. Is there Aji? I believe I can even descend, right? Because black can't take away a liberty. I believe I have this ladder. Yes. Oh, it'd actually be a cool ladder where this goes into the snapback, I believe. But so I think black has to go here, and then I think it's, yeah. Or is this maybe it doesn't quite work because black has that extra stone there. Yeah, maybe it doesn't quite work. But regardless, I could just play here, take. There's a ko here. If black fixes, then I can. I've reduced the corner. If maybe there's a better way to do it. I know sometimes this is the spot to play, but that's basically what I'm threatening. Is I can at least reduce black a little bit. I can reduce black a little bit. Yes. But black just connects. So I'm like, okay. Because black, you can tell so far, black is a very, I don't want to say passive, but a very territorial player. And so I jump. Again, I could pincer, but I was like, what if black gives it up? Especially when there's a monkey jump here. Just capturing this on a small scale isn't that good. So I wanted to kind of goad black into, come on, black, save those stones. I think black should. I think black should. Black could just play here, and if I stand up, you know, black's probably going to be okay. Black loses a little bit on the bottom, but it should be fine. It should be fine. If black just, I don't know, adds a stone like this. Yeah, black should be okay here. And that's also kind of the ebb and flow of the game, where, okay, I've played on the left side, so I can't expect to have the bottom as well, or keep all at the bottom. But then black goes here, and then just gives me the left side. And this felt really good for white because let's change the order. Let's say here black starts here, and I do this, and we get all of this. Like this. Black wouldn't then come in. So black should only play this move if black wants to really use it. Because I can say pretty strongly, I would answer all these the same way, right? I really can't allow black, especially if you look at the board, like where else can I go? Like I really can't allow black to play here. So I really do have to answer this, and I have to answer this. I have to answer this. So like all of these are kind of forced. But this move at this stage would be a minus. Black would be losing points here. Whereas instead, black could play here and maybe even stand up. This is a dangerous ko. Or even just connecting. There's a cut there. There's a clamp. Like there's better ways for black to kind of utilize the Aji of the singular C14 stone. So I think black really needed to use this stone if black wanted to play it. Because I just end up swallowing. Yeah, I just end up swallowing, and I get the Atari, and then even get to play the move on the bottom, which again is the last big side. Black turns, and this was a tricky scenario. Should I play here, which forces me to capture the two stones, but my connection is a little worse on the bottom, or play here and not capturing these stones yet, but my connection's better towards my bottom side stone. I think either or is possible. I think these, what would that be? 5 points isn't worth having a weaker group on the bottom. But I guess the other side of the coin is I'm so strong here that I can expect to use this still somehow. Like if this sort of thing happens, having this extra stone here isn't going to be, you know, the end of the world, or isn't going to be the difference maker, I should say. Go there. Black pincers here. I really think black should go this way. Or after this, then play down. Because black jumps again. This is a little over concentrated, and we'll see that there's still Aji of F2. And this is looking to connect at H2 or connect at D2. So if black just bumps, and I can bump here. If black blocks, now I can actually turn. And I now have enough liberties to capture in the corner, which would be super big. So that's the idea with this move. It's looking to connect at H2 and D2, which is actually why I played at K3, because the idea is, or my thought was, if I go here, black is most definitely going to play here now. And when I play this one, my base is actually quite cramped. But if black does it here, one, my base is a lot better. Even I could play moves like this to really try to make a strong shape. Or just jump out. It's a little uncomfortable for black. Because again, if you ever pincer like this, I can always play F2. But you don't want to just play this, because that's a little too close. So I played K3 because it's a little uncomfortable which side black should play. Whereas if I went here, then black can just pincer, and we can see now this is too far. This is too far. There's not a shape there. So that's kind of how I decided on K3. I think it's good to jump. So I'm able to reduce the bottom and still get this move here. And look at the center all of a sudden, right? So I really think after this jump, this was way too over-concentrated here. Black is super solid here. It's like black's making points with their thickness. So black should definitely like Hane here. All right, an eye for an eye. Okay, white, you reduce my bottom, then I'm going to reduce your center. But I'm able to get both. So then black plays here, but I can play here. Black bumps. I can attach under. And there is Aji with going here. I don't think black should fight this ko. Because there is a ko here. I don't think black should fight it, though. Because the ko might be a little too expensive for black. White gains a lot here. If black just connects, white can bump like this. And even though there's this double Atari, white can Atari back and then actually cut off this stone at K7. And you can't really capture these two stones either. You can see how perfectly this seals off the center. So this would be okay for white. This would be okay for white. If black stands up, white has a nice move of going here, which threatens to play F1. So black has to connect, and then we can still connect back. So, yeah, black loses the points in this area, although black does take away the points in white's bottom. So this might be slightly better for black. Slightly better, but it's close. Regardless, black just covers here to make the points in the center. I slide and then connect. So I'm able to make the points on the bottom instead. Then black plays this, which is a nice move. Not just because it's 10 again, but it's a nice spot to get. And cover, and then stand up. That's big. And so now we're in endgame. We're in an endgame. But black does actually have a deficit, believe it or not. And it doesn't get any better for black when black just turns here. Black, this is the shape point, and I'm very confused why black did it. Now, I assume black was afraid of this kind of thing happening. And black can capture the two stones here, but I think white gets more up top. But black can just block like this. And if white cuts, you can actually break through like this. And look how many points you're getting rid of on the top. When black just turns, this fixes my shape, and we'll even see black ends up trying to like make something happen here, but it just doesn't work because white's shape is too good. Black monkey jumps. Sure, that was black's right. Couldn't really do much about it. Then black dives, which again, this gives me time to clamp. And yeah, this move was maybe black's last chance. If black had done something in the center instead. First, this move isn't needed at all. Like if black just goes elsewhere completely. White can clamp, but it doesn't actually lead to much. Black has enough outside liberties that this is not a live shape. Well, what's the best way to do this? Here, I guess. Because if white goes here, you can descend. And yeah, this is not a dead shape for black. So yeah, that would be nice. And so the best I can do is this, which is big. But if white was going to get that anyways, or if you were going to do anything, you should just descend here. Because you will never need to play here. Most likely, again, anything can happen, but you only need to play here if you need to play here. But maybe you can connect back to your center. Maybe you get this Atari anyways, right? Because that is a forcing move. So yeah, this was like black minimizing the amount of points black could get in the corner in Gote. So yeah, black could have gone here if black was worried about anything. But when black fixes, okay, I can fix in the center. And now all of this is perfectly white's territory. Black bumps. And then wedges, which again, black after the game was telling me he thought there was more Aji with that cut at J15, but this has to be the biggest move. Yeah, it's so big. And then even black cuts on the inside, where black could Atari here and like stand up, or even Atari, well, yeah, maybe not. This might be too painful. But even just playing this way, this stone has more value than when it's here. Yeah, so black thought this was possible. But again, white's so strong that nothing works here. Stand up, or stand up, or extend, poke here, and then yeah, white just has too big of a lead at this point. There's a few more things I want to talk about. This Hane here, this is a nice move to get. It's a moral dilemma where if black just blocks, then I get this Atari. If black Hanes, which black does in the game, I'm able to play A2 at some point. I've already gained by playing A4 for C1, so I can go elsewhere for now. If black wants to prevent this attachment though, black can go here, but again, this is gote. Like imagine ever like haneing here, and your opponent has to play one move off. I'm trying to look really quickly. It'd be like this if when black hane's here, it's like I go here, right? You're already losing points for that. So that's why it's a big, if black has to play at a2, it's a very big loss in gote for black. So play there, push, play there, yep. And then jump here, push, connect there. I treated these as kind of miai. So when black took one, I took the other. And yeah, so then this move's interesting. This starts to create aji here, where black goes elsewhere. There's aji of throw in, and if black captures, I can capture here. Now black has a nice move of going here, and I could connect here still, and this actually there's still a ko here. Problem with this ko though is black has too many ko threats, and I mean too many ko threats. Black has this threat, this threat, this threat, this threat, this threat, and the list goes on. Black has a lot of ko threats, and I definitely don't have that many. That's the benefit of playing so solidly, is when your opponent's looking for ko threats, they don't have that many. So I would probably take here, and then black can take. So what I do instead is I peep here first, and the idea being, well, if you go elsewhere completely, well, now I can play here in not fully sente, but pretty much sente. That's quite big. But when you connect, then this throw-in works, and there's no like counter ko that black could play. If black fixes here, though, then I atari like this. And again, this is quite a big loss, because I get all that, which is quite huge, so I peep here, and so the idea is, it's an order of move things. When black connects, now I decide to throw in. And so the idea is, let's say I did this first. Let's say I threw in first, and I gave up like this. Where's black going to go now when I peep? Black could just go elsewhere. This move is just a nothing move. Would black connecting here make a lot of sense? And technically in this case, it's not the worst move ever, because white getting that spot does mean black has to fill an extra point. But even still, black could play like this and get rid of all the points while still preventing this double atari. So the idea is, if I wait till after I lose these, black will less likely answer. But by doing it first, where there's still aji, right, I can still decide what to do. Now, basically, whatever black chooses, I will then play accordingly. It's kind of like at the top, way early on, when black had these two stones here, and black could atari at q18 or could atari at o16. Wait for your opponent to decide for you. So yeah, I peep here, waiting for my opponent to see what they'll do. Black connects, so then I throw in and take here. And again, this exchange I felt was okay for me. Black plays there, cover, hane, fix, wedge, and yeah, I get the attachment. This move was a nothing move because there's no point at L18 anyways, but black actually loses a little bit because I can't connect here because it's a connect and die. But when black wedges here, or forces me to connect, now I could connect here. So it's ever so slightly worse for black. It's basically, there's no point there anyway, so there's no point in playing it. Wedge, play there, yep, hane, push. And yeah, we have endgame, and it's just white just was able to, well, really it wasn't white being able to do anything, it was black not being able to combat white's thickness here. And if you look at the end of the game, look how many groups black has. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And how many groups does white have? 1. And so all I had to do was kind of separate black up, and all these separate groups had to live. This right side had to live, this lower right had to live, the upper right had to live. And you can see they're not actually worth that many points. So, yeah. But yeah, we have this ko here, but it's just a half-point ko. But for honor, we must fight it. But yeah, I believe I have it here. Let me just check really quick. Info. Yeah, it ended up being white plus 23.5. So yeah, and remember, this was a game where White had practically no points on the right side after the first fight, and White still ended up winning by 23 points. So that should tell you something about not thickness in every single game, but especially in a handicap game, how good thickness is. So, but yeah, we play some Dame and pass, and yeah, White wins by 23.5. But yeah, super fun game, and again, I wanted to see what Manny was made of now that he's got to 1-dan, and I'm quite impressed. I like his style. His style is, as opposed to a lot of other Dan players I play, or even handicap games I play, Black's a very calm style. Black's a very calm style, which I like to see. You know, it's while I might want it as the stronger player in a handicap game, I might want to see somebody who's very aggressive. It's very refreshing to see somebody who's okay with just, okay, I'll give you this as long as you give me this, and I'll just try to win by a few points. So I like that style. But yeah, this was my second round game, ends with a win, so I'm currently 2-0 in the tournament. But yeah, if you have any questions about this game, please let me know in the comments, and I'll see you all in the next video.